Your outer world is a direct reflection of your inner world. And when you can shift your inner world, you can shift your outer world and mold it to be what you want. That is literally my idea and my motivating factor behind this podcast and this video series. My name is Sarah. Welcome to Mirrors. We are helping you to understand your inner world and shift it so that your outer world shifts with it. Because we know the outside is just a reflection of in here. Today, I want to talk about the mirrors theory because I really think it is a life-changing theory. And when we can use it to really understand and dissect our life, we can find so much self-discovery, so much healing. So let's talk about it. The mirrors theory is the idea that people, experiences, relationships, challenges, everything in our outer world is actually just a reflection of something that's going on internally. I see all the time how my perception, my perspective, my motives, my actions, my feelings, everything that I do every single day is so changed by what is happening in my internal world. If I meditate in the morning, I'm gonna have a completely different day than if I don't meditate in the morning. Have you ever noticed that like when you watch a movie, you start linking things in that movie to your normal day life? If you just watched a mystery movie, suddenly your whole life feels very mysterious. If you watch a really sad movie, suddenly you're in this like nostalgic kind of sad state and you're seeing your life from this perspective. Whatever energy, whatever zone, whatever vibe you're in here is like the frequency, the radio frequency that you are tuned into. And so if you want to change what you hear, you just have to change the radio station. You have to change what you're tuning into, change what frequency you're tuning into. Another way that I always see this is patterns. Look at the patterns in your life and they will show you something so real about what you need to heal in here, okay? Look at your relationships. Look at your friendships. Is there a pattern that keeps happening, that keeps showing up with different people? Do you always seem to date the same kind of person, even if they seem like completely different people at first? Do you always seem to end up in the same situation at work, even if you're at a completely new job? These patterns are showing you something about yourself, about the way you're talking, you're carrying yourself, about the way you're thinking, about the way you're perceiving things. And it's all a call to go inside and to heal something, in my opinion. How can you recognize what is being reflected to you so that you can work with it? Number one, pay attention to your emotional responses to things. Everything is meaningless until you give it meaning. What is triggering you? Like when you talk to someone, when you scroll on social media, whatever, what triggers you and gives you like that emotional response? That's telling you something. It's telling you something about your fears, about any unhealed life experiences, about any limiting beliefs that you might have about yourself or about your life or about other people. Again, take a look at your patterns. What are your relationship patterns, your career patterns, your friendship patterns? These things that keep happening over and over again with new places, new people, new situations, but it's the same story. That is again teaching you something. When you resist the challenges of your life, and when you feel these challenges and you just kind of like block them out, it's again almost a mirror reflecting to you like what parts of yourself you aren't accepting, what parts of yourself you're denying, what parts of your life you're not accepting and you're not healing through. All of these things are really just telling you something about what's going on in here. And so you can use them as tools. You can use your challenges as your greatest tools of strength. Because when you see what they're telling you, when you see what they're teaching you, baby, it all shifts. It all changes. Everything opens up to you when you can actually use these challenges as lessons. Whenever you are faced with adversity or challenge or difficulty, instead of just immediately going to an emotional, oh, I hate this, try to take a deep breath, regulate, and ask yourself, what is this situation trying to teach me? Because 9 times out of 10, that situation is teaching you something that is super valuable. And if you learn from it, it's almost like a video game. Like you're in different levels of a video game. And once you learn the lesson, you can stop playing that lesson and you can actually just move on to the next level. That is what this is like. It's like, okay, you're finally taking a look in the eyes of the things that you're experiencing and understanding them for what they really are, not what they appear to be. And you're healing whatever that is. So you got it. You healed it. On to the next lesson. One of my favorite things is the difference between projection and reflection, okay? Projection is seeing your wounds in other people. I struggled with this for a little bit when I got out of a unhealthy, abusive, toxic relationship. I would look at other people's relationship, and if there was any little bit of similarity, I would be like, you're in a toxic, unhealthy, abusive relationship. You need to get out. A lot of times they weren't. But I had not learned how to distinguish healthy love from unhealthy love yet. And I had not healed the part of me that was so upset with my own judgment. I hadn't healed my ability to trust myself and my intuition yet. So every time I saw someone else trusting their intuition and it was fine, I would immediately be like, no, your intuition is wrong, because I was so mad at myself for not feeling like my intuition was right. I was so upset with myself for staying in an unhealthy relationship that I would then project that onto other people and be like, oh, but you're staying in an unhealthy relationship. Girl, no, they're not. You don't know the in and outs of someone else's relationship. I stayed in an unhealthy relationship. I have to deal with that. I have to heal that. I have to come to terms with that and understand why I did that so that we can move forward. And the next time I'm in a relationship and it's healthy, I can recognize it. And the next time I'm in a relationship and it's unhealthy, I can recognize that and I can make different decisions. Reflection is learning from what's mirrored to you. So you see a person and they're in a relationship. We don't know if their relationship is healthy or not, but we see what we are perceiving. We see what's being reflected to us and we sit with it. And instead of projecting, oh, their relationship is unhealthy and just believing it, we say, hey, why do I think their relationship is unhealthy? Why am I so upset by their relationship? Why am I triggered right now? Why am I judging their situation right now? And then we realize, oh, it's because I still have a lot of unhealed parts of me and my past relationships. Or, oh, it's because I'm just feeling a little bit unsettled about the way my relationship ended. And so instead of dealing with that, I'm just putting it on someone else. That is reflection versus projection. And it is so powerful when you can reflect instead of project. Bitch, unstoppable. Okay, how can we use the mirrors theory for growth? The biggest thing that is, this is actually funny because this is I'm gonna get emotional. This is a huge personal theme in my life right now. I'm healing just a lot. I've been getting very triggered by people who do not use their hardships as learning moments and who then use it as points to be filled with hate. We can use our hardships to help us learn about ourselves and the world and to help us heal, right? We can learn from the things that we struggle through. We can become stronger, we can become more empathetic, we can become more loving, more generous, more understanding, and I personally really think that that's the point. Or we can become hateful, we can become closed off, we can become angry, we can become judgmental, and we can want other people to feel the same pain that we felt because we felt it, so you should. Or we can fall into the martyr headspace where it's like, oh, I had it so bad, you don't even know how bad I had it. I've had it the worst. No one's ever felt pain like me. Have you ever met anyone like that? Oh my God. Those people make me want to like pull my little hairs out individually. So instead of blaming the world, blaming others, blaming God, blaming whatever, understand, what is this teaching me? What is this teaching me? What am I learning? What am I healing? Continuously bring it back to you. That fight that you're having with your friend, that falling out, that really brutal breakup. Instead of being like, well, that person just sucks and I hate them. No. Maybe they're not the best, but what is this breakup teaching me? What is this friendship ending teaching me? What is this person that's pissing me off driving teaching me? Because it's always teaching you something and you can always grow from it. Shadow work. Shadow work is shining a light on the shadows and embracing those parts of ourselves that we want to reject, that we want to believe don't exist. It's embracing that lonely, mean, angry, spiteful, jealous, greedy version of you that's in there and loving them, healing them. So then you can release that pain and not be so jealous, not be so greedy, not be whatever. You can never change something through hate. You can only change something through love. And that is especially true when it comes to our own self-healing. So when we really recognize our weaknesses, our downsides, our things that are like, not my cutest moment, not my finest work, and we love them, and we can find peace within this part of ourselves and acceptance, again, unstoppable. Okay, and then I think the optimal level, like you've reached the top of this work, is when you are then grateful for your struggles. When you look at your struggles and you're like, oh, thank you. I am so excited because I am healing something. I am working through something. I am coming out on the other side. I'm going to be the baddest bitch version of myself once I get through this. Once you are grateful for this hardship, that is what I think is like the elite version of embracing the mirrors theory or shadow work or self-reflection, inner work, whatever. When you can be grateful for your struggles because you know that they're teaching you the lessons you need to learn. If that's you, baby, cheers. Because in my own life, the way this is changing my life a little bit is, okay, I went through a little friendship breakup recently, and it was a very hard one for me because this was a person that was very important to me and who I loved dearly and who I never thought we wouldn't be friends. We went through a rough friendship breakup. I found myself at first blaming this person, blaming them for their actions and whatever. And then I took a step back and I was like, just as much as they are to blame, I am to blame. There are two versions of every story. And what is this teaching me? What can I learn from this? And what I learned was there were a lot of parts of myself that I was not accepting. There were a lot of parts of my journey that I was not accepting. And by this friendship ending, it was almost like radical self-expression. Like I could have either dove headfirst into, I just want to be loved by someone else, so I'm going to put my feelings aside and just beg to be loved and accepted, or I can love and accept myself, and if this person does not love and accept me, we will fall. I also realized I was healing a lot of friendship wounds that I had that literally date back to like 7th grade. I don't know about you, but 7th grade was like the worst year of my life. And I have a lot of trauma from 7th grade and just a lot of hardship. I never really healed it. Like for me, I was always so focused on healing through my abusive relationship or like dealing with narcissists, or these were things that I was focused on healing through. My little friendship dramas from middle school, I wasn't necessarily focused on healing through that. I didn't think that was that big of a deal. And then here I am an adult and I'm like really good friends with someone and we're having a really sad, hard, difficult, gross falling out that's like making me question everything about myself, my personality, my worth, where I'm going in life. Am I even nice? It's making me question all of these things. And I'm like, oh, okay, I guess this little shit that happened in 7th grade with some friends actually really did fuck me up. It actually really did upset me and hurt me deeply, and I guess this is something I need to address. I always remind myself too, anything can be traumatic. You do not have to go through something that is like, devastating for it to feel devastating. Anything can be traumatic because trauma is not an event. Trauma is a response. Trauma is your nervous system's way of responding to a situation that is dysregulating to them. It is not a thing or a horrible thing that happened. So remembering that and having a little grace and a little love and a little empathy for yourself and understanding that we're all going through things and how we're perceiving those things is going to be different. It's a person-to-person basis. And we can't judge ourselves and think like, oh, well, that wasn't traumatic enough to have to heal through it. Journal prompts. Because we're some journaling girlies, and when we journal, we can heal things without even having to experience them. Like, how hot is that? Think of one person or situation in your life that is triggering you right now. Could it be reflecting something about your own belief about the world, about your own belief about yourself, about something that you need to heal from your past? What patterns in your life keep coming up, keep resurfacing, keep happening? What are those patterns teaching you about what you need to heal, your beliefs about yourself, about the world, and how can you shift this pattern and start a new cycle? What qualities do I admire in others that I fail to see in myself? How can I shift my perspective more to see life challenges as moments of healing and self-discovery? Okay, before you close out this episode, I just want you to take a second to reflect. You can comment, you can tell a friend, you can tell a family member, you can write it down, you can say it to yourself, but ask yourself, who or what in your life is acting as a mirror right now? Is there a pattern? Is there a trigger? Is there a situation in your life, in a relationship, in your day-to-day experience that just keeps showing up and keeps triggering you, keeps bringing an emotional response from you? Instead of pushing it away, embrace it, notice it, love it, give it a little hug, Reflect on it. Just take a minute and sit with it. What is it trying to tell you? Self-awareness is our first step to transformation. And I really think that if we all can transform ourselves one by one, our inner worlds, we will shift the world. We can change the world through this inner work. Because when we change how we show up in our day-to-day life, we change how we show up for each other, we change how we show up in the world, we change each other, we change the world. Not to be dramatic, but like you journaling is literally changing the world, okay? If this episode resonated with you, tag someone, share it with someone who you think can use it, okay? No shade. Remember, life is always reflecting back to us what we need to see. The more we embrace the mirror, the more we step into our higher selves. Thank you for hanging out with me today. I will see you next week. As always, the video versions of this podcast are on YouTube and the audio versions are on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. If you want to see little snippets or little short videos from me, I make lots on TikTok and Instagram, and I would love to see you over there. Bye.